All right, Shalom. It's your brother Kushab coming back at you another lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel, and may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right, and I just want to get into a quick lesson today, centered around doing good, especially unto those of the household of faith. All right, because in this last captivity, all right, in this latter times, yes, the Lord has a love, all right, for the whole nation of Israel, as you see here, He have chosen us as a nation, all right, but brothers always, going to, the Israel of the Most High, all right, the elect of the elect, man, all right, and certain things that you have to get your head around, is that the Lord, He only has love, all right, for the elect, all right, the men that are sighing and crying for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, all right. Now it says in Ezekiel the 9th chapter, when the Lord set a mark, which is the Dawah, all right, the mark of exemption upon all of those, okay, upon all of those that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Those are speaking of the sincere believers on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right? It's not speaking about those, just being, plain Jane Israelites, all right? It's speaking of those that actually care about pleasing the Lord, man, all right? Because 2/3 of our own people, all right, especially here in America, they don't care to do things that's pleasing to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. They only care to do things that are pleasing to themselves in their flesh, man. All right. So, I'm gonna go into a few precepts, and Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying. All right. So we're gonna start off with the book of Galatians. It's chapter 6 and verse 10. Let me see what it says in the NLT as well. Yeah. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, "As we therefore have the opportunity." All right, the opportunity is here. It's here now, right? It says, "Let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." You see? The household of faith, all right? In verse 10, it says in the NLT, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to those in a family of faith, all right? Seeing, we are the trailblazers, all right, to the kingdom, right? As Yahweh Shai was that trailblazer for us, or we were following the path and blazing the trail, for the rest of the whole nation to ultimately be saved, all right? That whole household of faith, man, all right? Speaking of that remnant, all right? Now, let me see if I can find the scripture that speaks about the Israel of the Most High, all right? I think it's in Romans. Shit. Whatever. I'll see if I can find it later. All right, but we ultimately know. All right, because there's like I said, Israel is chosen in itself. All right, as a whole nation, but ultimately there's a remnant. All right, that's chosen within the chosen. Right, and that's all of the only ones that the Lord, cares about. Right. It says Yep, I'll start at John chapter 17. I'll start at 6. It says, "And I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee." Right? So it's showing up, this Yahweh Shai basically, a chapter dedicated to the elect men, all right? Because he's speaking of those men being given to him, all right, so that he can use them, all right, in order to, as messengers, as heralds, right, as ambassadors, all right, to usher in the kingdom, all right, by us going out on the highways and hedges and teaching. You see, prophesying, right? It says, verse 8, for I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me. They have received them. They have known surely that I came out from thee, and they have believed that thou didst send me. You see, you read in the NLT, it says, for I passed on to them the message you gave me. They accepted it and know that it came from you, and they believe you sent me. You see, and you have, mass majority, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that, didn't even accept Yahushua, right? They didn't believe that, Yahushua was sent from among high, henceforth, which is why they say, hey, give us Barabbas, man. If he's a king, he could save himself, right? So this is why, and this is going to lead me into verse 9, right? It says, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, right? And all are mine, all are thine, and thine are mine. I am glorified in them, right? So let's see, check something real quick. All right, so you go into this word, world, is cosmos again, all right? So even Yahushua is telling you, which this cosmos represents, orderly arrangement, all right? It's not talking about, the whole inhabited earth, which I believe the Greek word for that world is oikoumene, all right? That's talking about the inhabited earth. This word cosmos is talking about a particular people, all right? So even Yahushua is saying here that I pray not for the world, basically saying I'm not praying for all Israel, right? But for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. I'm only praying for the elect, all right? NLT, my prayer is not for the world, but for those you have given me, because they belong to you. All who are mine belong to you, and you have given them to me, so they bring me glory. You see? It says, verse 11, I'll just keep reading the NLT. It says, now I am departing from the world. They are staying in this world, but I am coming to you. Holy Father, you have given me your name. Now protect them by the power of your name, so that they will be united just as we are, which is why you see here at Great Millstone, all right, a whole host of brothers, praising the Lord in his true name, all right, in sincerity. You see, it says, during my time here, I protected them by the power of the name you gave me. I guarded them so that no one was lost, except the one headed for destruction, as foretold in the scriptures. You see, it says, now I am coming to you. I told them many things while I was with them, right, when he last walked the earth in this world, so that they would be filled with my joy. I have given them your word, and the world hates them because they do not belong to the world, just as I do not belong to the world. I'm not asking you to take them out of the world, but to keep them safe from the evil one. All right, when you read in the KJV, it says, I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. You see? And that's a prayer that Yahushua actually put up, for the men that he walked with, the disciples. All right, those had different offices with Yahushua. All right, that's the prayer he went to the Father with for those men, right? And those men are back today. And this same prayer it still applies. All right, only to those who are sighing and crying, though. Only for those who are going to obtain and have that mark of exemption, all right, to be exempt from judgment, Lord willing, right? So that's why when you go to Romans, the 11th chapter, it says, Romans chapter 11, verse 5, it says, even so then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace, all right? And I'm going to jump down to verse 7. It says, what then? Israel had not obtained that which is seeking for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. You see? So the elect, all right, the election, all right? And the NLT, it says, so this is the situation. Most of the people of Israel have not found the favor of the Most High. They are looking so earnestly for. A few have, the ones the Most High has chosen, but the hearts of the rest were hardened. You see? So the hearts of the rest, all right, the other Israelites, it was hardened, man. You know? They wasn't given this point of this opportunity, all right, to do good unto the men of the household of faith, man. You see? And it says most of the people have not found the favor of the Most High that they're looking for so earnestly, right? The election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded, you know? Now, I'm going to jump down into, let me see. Right. So I'm going to jump down to 26 just to show. It says, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. All right. So, you know, ultimately, you know, all the Israelites will get the kingdom, you know, but they're going to have to come back. All right. Like the brother like to say, through them Hebrew huggies, man. All right. As a newborn babe in the kingdom through the loins of one of those, you know, righteous men. You see, that's why it tells you in Isaiah that a little one shall become as 1,000. All right, a strong nation, man. You see? All Israel eventually going to get the kingdom, all right, but you're just not going to be a part of that first fruits. You're not going to experience the salvation part, right? But you'll come back, hey, man, you'll be all right, you know? So, you know, Lord willing, you know, this quick hit was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem